Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Katnip and Chill. I am your host Katnip and I'm sure you've all heard of a small indie game known as Baldur's Gate 3. But of course Katnip, says you, I'm cool. I know what Baldur's Gate 3 is. Baldur's Gate 3 is a role-playing game that was developed and published by Belgian game developer Larian Studios. You can play from a list of characters or create your own, and go on this mega adventure to save yourself, your friends, and the world. This game is based off of the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons, and if you haven't heard of that before, I don't know what to tell you. Other than that you should look into it and it's really fun. Anyway, one of my favorite characters that I've made is a druid who turns into an owlbear. But she's not important. What's important is this item I found in the game. As soon as I saw it, I needed to make it. So, here we are. A little late to the Baldur's Gate hype party, but honestly, I work slow. I first drew my pattern pieces on paper, and I honestly kinda just made it up, because I've never sewn stuffed animals before. I've only crocheted stuffed animals. I kinda based it on this little fox here, because I like how floppy it is. So I'll start with a paper template, cut it out, and then tape it together to see how it looks before cutting into any fabric, because I have some fabric in mind, but I don't have a lot, so I don't want to waste it. So here's the taped product. I've got the head and the body together to make sure all the pieces fit, as well as the front and the back legs. The head looks a little flat, but I think it's just that the paper doesn't have as much give as fabric would. I'm also thinking about adding a bit of a spine to the back just to widen it a little bit so that the body's not too long. But overall, I think this will work. Please ignore the wrinkled shirt that I will be using for the prototype. After carefully snipping off all the tape, I'm now going to align the pieces on the fabric and then begin the grueling task of pinning those pieces to the fabric. Honestly, I feel like this is the longest part of sewing. And then finally, we cut the fabric, giving ourselves a bit of seam allowance. Firstly, we have the head. Overall, I like it, but I am still a little worried about it being too flat in the front. We'll see how it looks when it's stuffed. Next is the body. It seems to be coming along really well. I switched up workspaces because sitting at the table can be tiring. Besides, this was a hand-stitched project, so I can take it anywhere. Okay, so it doesn't look very good. Look how flat the face is. It's so flat. And I think I may have made this part was maybe supposed to be the bottom. Maybe this was supposed to be flipped. I think this wide part was supposed to be actually the neck. Because the neck bit I had to like fold in on itself almost. And like the feet kind of go out almost. And it looks like a diaper butt. I don't know. It's kind of cute in a ragdoll-y way. Maybe I can fix it. I don't know, guys. I mean, obviously the stitching is ridiculous and awful. I can't. Oh my gosh. Hello. 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 Yeah. I'm not supposed to be here, baby. No, hold on. I know, I'm Yowie. Let's give it some eyes. Maybe that'll make it better. Okay. It's kind of cuter with eyes. It's kind of cuter, actually, right? I feel like the legs are a bit long, like for an owlbear, you know? Maybe a little shorter legs. Or thicker legs, I don't know. They're kind of noodly. I don't know. I think I gotta go back to the drawing board. I mean, obviously, imagine like a cute little beak. Beak. Like right here. Beak. But, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's wonky. But I kind of love him. He's so cute. Okay, so we tweaked the pattern a little bit. We've made the body bigger. We've made the legs shorter, but also wider, with bigger foot pads. And this time we are going to actually use the sewing machine because hand sewing takes forever and I'm getting impatient. Okay, so I feel like the face needs to be a little longer and maybe the bottom go kind of inwards to make some cheeks and like a neck, because otherwise it just kind of looks like Finn's hat or like an Among Us character. So I ended up hand stitching anyway because I cannot figure out how to sew the head to the body while using the machine. Okay, so this is prototype number 2. It's got shorter and thicker legs than number 1. The first prototype's limbs seem to fall forward more versus number 2, which displays outward. But I think it's because the belly is just super wide. I like that the head is bigger, but it's way too big for this body, or the body is just too long. So at this point I'm realizing I'm going to need to make another prototype. And honestly, I'm getting tired of this project and I just want it finished. It's been literal weeks for me. I'm very close and I figure if I can use the parts of both prototypes that I like, I'll get the results I want. Wish me luck because I'm going to use the good fabric. Because I am tired. I'm tired of using t-shirt fabric, and I think we have winners here. So, you know, this is a all or nothing situation. If it doesn't work, I only have a little bit of this fabric left, just a little bit, not a lot. Like, this is all I have. So if it doesn't work, I don't want to buy new fabric. This shit's expensive, and I don't know what else to do with it. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best here. Once again, I pin all of the paper templates to the back side of the fabric and then I cut them out. You have to listen to this though, it's extremely satisfying. And here's all the pieces together. It's looking pretty good. And now, once again, for the 3rd time, we hand stitch. Why do you hand stitch, you may ask? Well, at first I thought it would be quite calming, but after the 2nd try, it became infuriating. I only hand stitch now because I don't think my machine would do well with this thicker fur fabric. I have to say though, watching myself hand stitch right now is very calming. I love videos where people film close up while they're crafting. And here you can see we finished the back. Here's the front. Now the next steps of this project are sewing, and sewing, and sewing, and sewing, and sewing, and sewing. I just want you all to see the amount of like fluff I am working with. Like, look at all of the fluff. There's so much fluff on this ground. That is all from this stuff. Just so much fun. Finally, after
84 years.
we have a complete body. Now, the fun part. We just have to add the head. And now the head is done. Woo! I wish it was this quick in real life. I do leave a little flap open at the top so that we can get some stuffing in there, and then we'll finish the whole thing by closing up the head. Ta-da! And we're done. Well, that was easy. Look, it's so cute. Now we get to do the next best part. Stuffing. Oh, but before we go too far, I've always liked the idea of Build-A-Bear putting in a heart, so I got my own little heart to put in there. And now, back to our regular program of stuff. It's so cute! Beep, beep, beep. It actually worked out really well. It's got little horny ears, and this will look much better when he actually has eyeballs. For now, it just looks like, you know. Yeah, this is super cute. We'll get a beak and some eyes, and we'll be done. I had attempted to film me sewing in the eyes, but my table was being occupied at the moment, so I had to balance the camera on me while sewing. It didn't work out, so you'll just have to imagine it. And lastly, we sew on the wings. Sadly, we ran out of the normal sewing thread, so I had to use a thicker cotton strand instead. Enjoy my struggling. Ta-da! And we're done. Obligatory photoshoot time. There are a few criticisms I would give myself in case I ever hit my head hard enough and did something like this again. 1. I would find or make an actual pattern for the beak. I kind of made one up on the fly. Ha! 2. I would have sewn the wings on the sides of the legs instead of on the back so they flare out more. 3. I would have made the faceplate more even. The right side of it is actually longer compared to the left and it bothers me. And now it'll bother you too. But overall, I love it. It's not exactly like the picture, but it's cute and it's definitely worthy of love and snuggles. Perfect. That's a wrap.